Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We'll just wait for it to kind of start.
Yeah, and who knows how many people will watch this because the Historical Hellions is going on right now as
Oh,
well.
is it around the same time?
Well, theirs started 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
But so I don't know, like there may be some of the same people wanting to watch both, so
Yeah. So
that's
far, we got
fine.
0 people watching ours.
It's fine if people just watch the playback. It's
Yeah.
all good. If it's just me and Lisa here, that's fine.
Yeah. Welcome to the show where right now there's 0 people watching and we're just hanging out. It's just Rachel and I hanging out, and
Exactly.
which is fine. It's fun for us. It's all of us.
Mhm.
All right.
Exactly.
I guess we can kind of start. Do you want
Yeah.
to wait for people to join, or do you just want to just jump into it?
We can just jump right on into it. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine.
Okay, so our April book pick was I forgot the title of our book.
It was Unclaimed by
Unclaimed
Courtney Milan.
by
We
Courtney
read
Milan.
Unveiled, which is book one last month, and we both really loved it. And so I think we both had pretty high expectations going into this one.
Mhm,
I also had high expectations going into this one because like Jen really loved this book.
mhm,
And then I was just looking on Goodreads a little while ago and like everyone that I follow on Goodreads gave this 5 stars. Like or maybe a couple of 4 stars in there, but like the majority of people that I follow gave it 5 stars. So I definitely had high expectations. I don't know about
100%.
you. Yeah, you did too.
100%. And, everybody who watched our live show last month, told us that this was a really good book, it was a really good follow-up, and I had really high expectations because the series started off so strong. So, I was a little bit nervous because it followed a plot line that was kind of unconventional, where our hero was a virgin and then our heroine was like the more skilled person in the bedroom. And so I was a little bit nervous about those because I'm not really a fan of those tropes.
Okay.
So I walked into this one with really like an open mindset, and I didn't mind it at all because I felt like she was very like understanding of our hero, and and our hero wasn't. He always kept saying that just because he's a virgin, it doesn't mean that he's an innocent, and that was
Right.
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what this book has going for it, the main thing it has going for it is the different discussions surrounding like
Mhm.
chastity because he wrote a whole book about it and
Yeah.
like surrounding like his motivation for chastity because definitely like the first part of this book I was definitely getting like a holier than thou vibe from Mark,
Okay.
but then once he explained why he believes this, I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like this is a totally different level
Yeah.
here."
And the reason why, and remind me again, I think like the reason why was because he wanted to just be devoted to like his wife, or like.
Mainly he says something like chastity is to benefit women
Mm,
because we especially in that society, but even nowadays, if a woman is ruined in society or is a fallen woman, she suffers all of the consequences of that, and the man who ruined her
yeah.
doesn't suffer anything, right?
Mm.
And how like fucked up that part of society is. And so that was his like main thing of um oh, I did really like the scene where he like just like yelled at that group
Yes.
of people in the
Mhm.
village. He was like, "Y'all are all like the worst hypocrites ever.
Yeah.
Like you have these hand signals of
Yes.
when a dangerous woman is nearby. Women aren't dangerous at
Yeah.
all. Like, men are who have the power, especially in this time period." So yeah, that was like his main motivation was like really it's just to protect women at the end of the day.
I like that scene too as well because he was like, "You guys are the worst fans ever. You guys did not read my book properly. You guys
Yeah,
don't understand anything." And I was just like,
like
"Listen."
you clearly missed the point.
Yeah, like, "Are you guys
Yeah.
stupid? Like, how stupid are you guys?" Like, it
And
was
you
like.
know what I just thought of is like this is all like a massive metaphor for Christians who are like so conservative and hateful of people when like,
Mhm.
did you read the Bible? Like,
Oh,
did you
yes, 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 yes.
actually like, you know what I mean? Like, do you actually understand who Jesus was? Or,
Mhm.
like, I feel like that has to be a metaphor,
Yes.
in
Yeah,
there.
because you do talk about religion in it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense. No, that's a good catch. I like that. But, like, this book just didn't it lacked the complexity that was in the first book, I felt like. There was just not as many layers to our characters, to the plot
1,000%.
line. Like,
Yeah.
it just
Yes.
wasn't as rich as I thought it would be. I thought it would be, like, similar vibes where, our hero had, like, multiple layers, and then our heroine would have multiple layers, and then the plot would have multiple layers. But it missed that mark for me, and that, like, made it really hard for me to get into the story because I was waiting for that to happen. So for the first half of the book, I was kind of bored because they were just meeting each other,
Yeah, I
getting to
was
know each other.
a bit bored too.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely, yeah, the first half, I was like, honestly, there was like a second here and there where I was like, "Ooh, should I DNF?" Like, I was like, I'm bored." Yeah.
Yeah, and we were both, like, for reference, like, Rachel and I both started this book really late into the
Yes.
month. Like, we were messaging each other going, like well, I was like, "Should I move this back? Like, should we move this back even more?" Because, like, I ran into some plumbing issues, and I just didn't feel like continuing the audiobook because I heard a bit of it, and I'm like, "What is this book?" So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think what you said nailed it. There aren't as many layers to this story. Also, Ash for me is like a new book boyfriend. I
Mhm.
love his character
Mhm.
and like Mark, I I like him. I don't love him. Also, like full disclosure to all of you, I have not yet finished this book. I'm at like the 70% mark.
Yeah.
So I'm at least past the halfway mark. I've read, the majority of it. And I will say for me, the second half is getting better and better and better. And like just to throw out kind of spoilers, where I stopped is like the scene where they have since reunited after the serials have come out, and Mark realizes, well, kind of how shitty he's been to her, and he's come to find her, and so the first steamy scene is happening where I stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, I like Mark. I don't love him. I really like Jessica's character. I have read historicals with this similar vibe where the heroine's like a courtesan, a sex worker, and the hero is either a virgin or just someone who's like starchy, buttoned up.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think this story is a bit more complex than those other books that I've read,
Mhm.
just in terms of like we've said, like the different discussions surrounding like chastity, but also like um the layers of Jessica's past and like the way she discusses what being a courtesan is like and how these men own you, and
Yeah.
like that's something that I've never quite read about before. Like
Yeah.
I really appreciated those discussions.
Yeah. She's positive about her work at moments. Like she's like proud. Well, I wouldn't say she's proud, but like I feel like she's more positive. But at the same time, she is like, I don't really like this about me. I want to get out of it. How do I get out of it? This should be my last time doing it. Like I hate the feeling afterwards. Like is the impression that I got a lot in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, I agree because she was very, upfront, obviously in her own mind, but
Yeah.
like about how like at first she did enjoy it, I think. I think I recall her like saying something to the effect of like, I thought that this was well, she definitely said something like, I thought this was gonna be a different life than what it ended up being. Like I think that like in this world, in this society, like being a courtesan seems very glamorous.
Mhm.
I think it can be very romanticized. And then when you're actually in that line of work, like you realize how the power dynamic is fucked. I mean, you have no power
Yeah.
and you are so dependent on this protector to provide for you. And what are you giving up to be protected. And yeah, I really loved like all the different kind of layers to her story that we've gotten, at least so far of what I've read.
Yeah. But it just, I don't know, it just wasn't the first book. It still, yeah, it didn't hit the mark at all.
No, I think, and like we both said, we were bored in the first half, but we shouldn't have been, because the first half was like a huge part of the development of their romance. Like we're seeing Jessica, despite what Weston is having her do, she's falling for him. And then, Mark falling for her in return. And yeah, I just expected, I don't know, I expected a lot more just because of how good Unveiled was. And I also expected to root for this couple more. Like, I'm reading this book and I can't say that I'm going to die if they don't end up together. You know what I mean?
Like, I'll be honest with you, the last 15 minutes, I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was that boring. I was just like, I can't do this.
Oh
like,
my God. Oh no.
I was like, you know what? I know you guys are gonna be together, and like I fast forwarded it, like the scenes, because I was just like, just be together.
Interesting.
Be together. And then, yeah, they're together.
I'm interested to see what I think, because I have like 3 hours left of the audiobook. I'm interested to see like what I think about the last chunk.
Yeah.
What
What's
I will say,
so far, though? What's your rating so far, though?
I would say 4.
Oh, okay, that's pretty high.
Because the second half right now is like getting good for me, but we'll see. What about you? What's your?
I think it's such like a mid novel that I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.
3. I mean, based on what you said, that makes sense for sure.
It's a 3. It's not. Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know if it's like me because I haven't read a book in 2 weeks because I've been focused on TV shows. But I think it's just this book because the first book was too good and it set it up too much.
I was thinking something along those same lines actually while I was reading this, because this past weekend has just been insane for me, and whatever time I've had to read, I've just been exhausted. And so like I started this book yesterday on the plane back from New York. So I got through like maybe like an hour and a half of the audiobook on the flight. And then I've just been like rushing through it like all day today.
Yeah, it felt forced because we were forcing ourselves.
To read it. And like also, I have become more of a mood reader, I would say, in the last year, in like what is the vibe that I want. And I don't know that at this moment I'm in the mood for this kind of historical.
Yeah.
So I do think there's some little things here and there maybe hindering my enjoyment, but also I do agree that like the story is the story, and like Unveiled was just so fucking good. Like,
yeah,
it was just so good, Yeah.
I wonder if the third book is gonna be good.
I'm gonna read it soon because I actually got the audio for the third book when Audible was having that insane sale last year. It was like $3 for the audiobook.
Okay, I'm not gonna force like us to do the third book.
No.
We're not. I think we gave up on that thought.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious about, because it's going to be Smite's book.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll definitely read it because I got that audiobook anyway. But yeah. Oh, I wanted to say I do like though that like, I always like when the heroine has to do a grand gesture, and I like that this grand gesture happened at like the 65% mark, because I'm just like, oh, how is the story going to go on from here? I know that you said you were still pretty bored, but I think that that's very intriguing that like this grand gesture that is typically something that happens at the end of a romance novel has happened so soon. So I'm just very intrigued.
Yeah, it just kind of leaves you thinking what's next if the grand gesture already happened.
Exactly. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I think I was just disappointed that, you know what? And I think the reason why we were bored by the first half is, let's be real, like what is really going on plot-wise in the first half?
Nothing.
They're in this small town, this small country village. We know her motivations for being there. We know his motivations for being there. And it's just like interactions between the two of them. And then like the country villagers being like, she's a dangerous woman. And, you know? And so it's like, yeah, like not much is happening.
I don't
You
know.
know?
I just had to post my review on it because I was just like, oh, this is
Oh,
updated right now, 3 stars. But yeah, disappointed.
I just think it's so funny, Lisa, that like since we've started this book club, we have agreed about every book that
I
we've
know.
chosen, yet that has never been the case or
Yeah,
hardly
if
been
we
the
did our
case.
own separate readings and if we did our own videos like 3 months apart, we would be like fucking different. But like
It's
here,
so weird that like
it's bizarre.
it's
But
so weird because the only book I can think of that like we have truly agreed on outside of this book club was like The Devil's Submission.
yes. Wait,
That's like
what?
the
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Nicola
yeah,
Davidson. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's like the only book I can
Well,
think of.
I mean, all the Tessa Dares.
True.
Probably all the
Except you hated
Lorraine Keith.
Wallflower Wager and I love
Oh,
Wallflower
yeah, 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 yeah,
Wager.
yeah. We can't believe on that one. It's just a bunch of animals, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
The probably Lorraine Heath. Like, probably, like, all the, like, the big authors we agree on.
Most likely, I
Yeah.
would say.
The
Yeah.
smaller authors, Joanna Shupe, Lenora Bell, probably Maya Rodell, and, like,
I've never read Maya Rodale or
Maya. Oh my god, I love her books. You should read them, and then I wanna see if you hate them.
What's your first recommendation?
Okay, let me look at it. The Wicked Wallflower.
Is that the hot pink cover?
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, she and him are like fake, like courting each other. And then he is playing this inheritance games because his like, I don't know, his wealthy grandma is just like, y'all need to get married, or else you guys are not getting like this money that I have. And
Mhm.
then they have to play this game. And then afterwards, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go like find this random woman to court and play these games so that I can like win my money. And like it's like a weird plot line like this, and then they're just having fun playing games, and then like they fall in love, obviously, and it's just super cute. And I really like
Okay.
that one. But if you want like another one, Lady Bridget's Diary is based on Bridget Jones's diary. I don't know if you've ever watched
That's
the
the
movie.
one that I've recalled you talking about.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one was really good. Like she is like the spunky American who's like not classy because she came from like a normal background, but turns out she inherited like this new title and she is like very high up in the British society. And then our hero is just kind of like looking down at her, thinking that she is not right for society, but then he ends up falling in love with her and he's the buttoned down starchy type of character and she's like the wild
Mm,
free one with the family that is kind of crazy too, as
I
well.
love that vibe. Yeah,
Mhm,
that sounds
mhm,
really good.
yeah.
Speaking of historical authors that I'm pretty sure you've read and have really enjoyed, didn't you read like Caroline Linden's her
Yes.
books and you've enjoyed them?
Yes. Okay, I've read this one. Let me look for it. It's like something rogue, about a rogue, and that's her being, like, this entrepreneur working for her father's company, and she is, like, the brains behind the business, but, like, society is like, "What do women know?" So she's just like, "Whatever," and she's just, like, working, but then she needs to get married, and then she marries a guy, and then instead of the guy being like, "You should stop working, and you should just start a family, and you should just mind your own business," he, like, loves the idea that she's so smart, she's so creative, she's so driven that they both collaborate with each other throughout the book to build the business together. And I was like, this is so cute. We
This
love,
one?
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
They make bowls or something. Like they make pottery. That's why there's like so much pottery in the background.
Oh, cool.
And it was so good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like 4 and 5-star reviews.
Yes.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. What is your favorite Lenora Bell?
My favorite Lenora Bell. Oh, that's really hard. Let me look.
Oh, wasn't it the governess one?
Yeah, it's like What a Difference Duke Makes was one of my favorites, yes, which is the governess one, where she is pretending to be well, she's not pretending, she is a governess, but she got kicked out of, like, the institute for something, but she's like, fuck this, like I still need a job. So she pretends that she's still in like the institute, and she interviews to become a governess for our duke, who has has twins, and they're both like rambunctious, and like they do crazy shit, and they play with snakes, and they scare away the governesses like every time they come, because they just don't want to be bothered with like schooling and like education and things like that. So she manages to tame the children, and he's like, okay, well, like I gotta have you as a governess. And she's like lying the entire time, saying that she's part of this institute, but she's not. And he is not involved with the children at all, because he thinks like as a male, like he doesn't need to be. But then he starts seeing through her that like he needs to be attentive as a father, because he is playing a key role into the children's development. And then he realizes that he needs to stop working so much and focus on his family. And it was like this like very like natural slow burn romance between them, and it was like so good.
I think you've said this before about that book, but it definitely gives Governess Game vibes. For sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I haven't been reading a lot of historical romances, but I have like the new ones on my shelf and on my floor. Like Kathy Maxwell has a new one that was out. Still never read the new Lorraine Heath. I'm a fraud.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you read it yet?
No, I haven't. I have it on hold for my library, though.
Yeah. A Kiss in the Moonlight is the one that I have on my floor. I forgot I had this one, but I want to read it. I think
like that cover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like behind, because basically what happened was that my main bookstore in Canada got hacked. And then like a lot of the pre-orders that I have are delayed because of that hack, because they're still like trying to regain control of their inventory and things like that. And like I don't even know what's new. I don't even know what's old anymore.
Well, and that's reminding me of like how like Book Depository is gone now.
I know, that's so sad. I wanted special editions.
Well, and that what's also sad about that is that Book Depository always had free shipping, and for like international people, like Book Depository was one of the few places where people could get free shipping.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was accessible and it was cheap.
Yes. Yes, Linda, we're here.
And Linda asked the key question that we answered, but I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It definitely did not live up to the first book. It was kind of disappointing read for me.
Yeah, I'm not finished it yet. I'm like at 70% in, and it's totally fine. This weekend has just been insane for me. But it's right now giving a 4-star vibe. I have like 3 hours left of the audiobook. So
yeah. I'm curious to see if Rachel's rating would lower or waver a bit after she finishes the book.
I'll definitely keep y'all updated. I'll probably leave a comment on this video, to keep y'all updated. But yeah, I'll finish it tonight at some point. Who knows? But yeah.
That's all we have to say.
We've just moved on to other topics already, because like there's not much that we even like want to discuss.
Yeah, we just started talking about historical romances that like we've read that we still need to read, so that we can debate whether or not like we agree on the ratings.
Oh, right.
So far, we've been doing really well with agreeing on the ratings, except for the books that we haven't read yet.
Oh, it looks like Linda agrees, though, that it's not as good as the first one, which is interesting, because I feel like a lot of the reviews I've seen that they prefer this book to Unveiled. And I'm like,
really?
It seems like Unclaimed is like the series favorite. And I'm like, but did you read Unveiled?
Like, yeah, I'm like, did you read it? Did you really read it? Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people read Unclaimed because of the tropes. And I'm wondering if people just have not read Unveiled.
Yeah.
Unveiled
is the better one. I still never read the novella Unlocked.
Oh, Unlocked is really sweet. It's really
I still never read it yet. I told you I was gonna read it, and then
I
went go right into like a stupid it's not a reading slump, it's just a reading break, honestly.
Yeah, no, I understand. I feel like I'm in a slump too, Lisa. Like work has been
That's what I'm
busier than me.
saying.
And
Yeah.
so, like, I do not have nearly as much time to read. The last, like, 3 months, I've only been able to read a little over 20 books, which,
Yeah.
like, for some people that may be a lot, but for me, I'm
It's
used
slow.
to getting through at least, like, 30 books a month.
Yeah. Like
So,
a book
like,
a day
it's
kind of
just
thing.
a book a day. A book a day was my usual, like, reading rate, and, like, now it's, like, a book every 2 days. It's, like, cut in half.
I know.
So, yeah.
For me too, it's because, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like taking a break from content creation. Like, I haven't been posting as much on YouTube because I feel like I don't know, it's always like the same like feeling, like being exhausted after work and then like having to like sit and film and then like edit video. It's just like the time spent, I could use it towards reading a book or I can use it towards like watching a TV show. And I it's not like I hate YouTube or like I'm like completely leaving YouTube, but it's just like it's nice to have some time for myself where I'm not pressured on content creation, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling a bit similarly right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to film like a May TBR and like an April wrap up this week, but other than that, I'm kind of feeling like I need a break. I need a bit of a break.
Yeah.
But it's and I don't know. I think I don't know what it is. I do think part of it is that my channel grows very slowly, which is fine. I don't want to compare myself to other people, but sometimes that does get a little bit frustrating. Like I reached 2K last April. It is now a year and I'm not at 3K yet. Like
Yeah.
that gives you an idea of how, granted, I'm grateful for any subscriber that I get, but at the same time, I'm only human. I can't help but like feel a certain type of way when I see my friends gaining 1,000 subscribers, let's say in a couple of months, you
No.
know?
I feel the exact same way. So that's like the same thing that's happening to me. Like I think like they changed the algorithm and everything so that they're not posting the videos on the discovery feeds as often or as like they're not picking as much. So most of my viewership is from subscribers only and it
Yeah.
don't have that explore option because the algorithm changed. So therefore like I'm getting a lot less views from when I'm looking at my analytics. And like you said, like we're only human. We kind of like look at it, we look at the numbers, and the numbers will be like a primary motivation to kind of keep content creation. And like, you know, like the numbers aren't really doing it much for me. And I don't know, I just feel like sometimes it's just like not worth the time spent to create stuff unless I'm very excited about it. So that means that I need to actually be excited about the content I make. But then the thing is, I'm lacking that creative aspect of it. And then like so I'm like, why don't I just give myself a break and then think about, you know, cautiously think about like how I can be more creative with my content, change up like the vibes, and then kind of go in with more motivation and energy. But like right now, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just kind of want to like take a break. Which
Yeah. And I do think that's because when you think about it, um, content creation like this is a constant thing. If you are someone like me, I stick to usually 2 videos a week. I don't take a break from that. I don't think I've ever taken a true break from YouTube unless I was at like in February I was out of town for a gig, but even then I had pre-filmed a lot of videos, so I was still like editing them and
yeah,
uploading them while I was out of town. Like I have not taken a true break from content creation. I don't even know, maybe even since I started, and that was like the end of 2018, you
yeah,
know? So I do think that like once again we're only human and like doing something like this, I think people just don't even realize how much work goes into it in general. Like
yeah.
it, y'all, it takes so much time and energy not only to sit down and film, but then to edit, make the thumbnail, promote it, blah, 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 blah.
And
You know?
export it takes like forever too. Export
Yeah.
takes probably like 40 minutes and you can't
And
even
to
do
come
it
up with
in idle
ideas.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can't even, like, edit another video, you have to wait for the video to export first, and then you have to edit the other video, and it's just, like, so much time. And then, like, the pay is garbage, it's, like, nonsense, like,
It's
it's nonsense, it's just garbage, it's
well,
just
see, and that's the thing too. Clearly, most of us are not doing this for the money
yeah,
because we can't. There's no way.
yeah,
I mean, God, you know, with AdSense, you have to reach the $100 threshold for AdSense to give you a payout.
yeah,
I reach that threshold honestly every few months at this point. Like it's really it is not for the money that I do this. And so that's another thing too of like sometimes like I can't help but have that feeling of is this worth all the work? Because
Not.
it's a lot of work. It truly, truly
Yeah.
is.
Like, I
Yeah.
can have a grand time, like, just laying on my bed and just reading a book, but then, like, I don't know, it's like it comes down to the point where it's like, "Okay, why did I start this YouTube channel?" Clearly, it's not to build a career and to, like, quit my day job and just make all the money here. It's because I wanna discuss books, and I wanna be interesting, and I wanna, to share books with people that share books that I really love with people.
Yeah.
The thing is like the views are down. So it's like not everybody's watching you like sharing the books. So that's like a detractor. You're not really interested, you're not motivated by it anymore. And then the money was like the second part, like where you could be motivated or it could potentially be a motivator. It's not there anymore. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like I can just take my time is what I'm thinking.
Well,
Just
and
take
so
a break.
I've heard that like in general, YouTube views go down in the summer months, like getting towards the summer months and all of that, just because people have free time to like go on vacation and like they're doing things, so they're not watching YouTube. Whereas like in the winter, apparently views go up. That's just a general thing.
I also think that the the audience attention span has decreased significantly now that reels and TikToks are very popular. And it's also for me too as well. Like I cannot sit through a very very long video anymore. Like it's going to be like the drop off rate for me would be like the first 6 minutes, the first 7 minutes. Whenever I'm finished doing a chore, like I'll just cut the video and I'll just return back to my like normal like TV watching or whatever. So it sucks too because
That's common because when you look at your YouTube analytics, it'll
yeah,
tell you the average, what the watch time or
yeah,
like, and it's usually that range that you just said, like
yeah,
5 to 7 minutes, and then your audience goes away. And
yeah,
yeah, that's been a problem for a while, but I agree since the rise of like TikTok and reels and things like that. I mean, I definitely still appreciate long form content, but I agree that there's a lot of people who don't because of the attention span. It's just
yeah,
like, going on to the next thing, moving on to the next video, whatever. Um, so yeah, it's all content creation is just changing. It's
yeah,
changing so much in the past, I would say like 3 years or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird. And, but I think like we said, obviously we do this because we love it. And so I think that there is validity to taking a break so that you can like rediscover why you love it and have that passion for it again so that you
mhm,
don't get burnt out and so that you don't want to just delete your channel.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
quick thought on the short video content is because I'm more aware of it now that I know from my experience too. Like not me like seeing people drop off. I'm saying like even me like I don't like to watch that long video
Mhm.
anymore. So I think about how my audience wants to see their content. So I've actually just been like and it's easier for me too as well. I don't know if this is a tip for you, but like I just cut to the chase in my videos and I just try to film as like short as possible. Like as soon as it reaches like 15-minute mark, I know I'm good to stop. And like because it's easier, it's faster to edit because it's less footage. And then
Yeah.
it's also
Yeah.
going to be a shorter video, which means that more people are willing to click on it. And I saw how like when my videos are shorter, like under 15 minutes, there's more people watching it in the first hour than if it's a super long video that can be very daunting, where a lot of people like save to watch later.
Yes.
So then afterwards, like the shorter videos work better for me, in my opinion, in my instance, in my experience. Yeah.
No, I totally get what you mean. Yeah. Um,
That's just a lot. And I don't know if you did your taxes yet, but like I did my taxes and I was like, what the hell is the point of this? And it's just making me more like it's just giving me more work because like I'm based out of Canada. So I have to figure out like this like US form. And I'm like, okay, where do I insert this in my like Canadian like income? And then I had to do like a whole conversion because I got paid in CAD, but then it's the USD that's on the tax form. So then that means I have to like translate that into my Canadian tax return. And I'm like, this edit.
yeah. Oh yeah, my taxes are always complicated, but that was just an extra. The past couple of years, I've had to,
Yeah.
claim for us, for in case you guys don't know, like they're royalties. That's how you have to file YouTube earnings, and so at least like in the US, but like, so that was just like a whole other thing that I had to figure out. I was like, how do I claim this? Like,
Yeah.
what royalties? Like, yeah. No, I totally understand. My taxes are always complicated though, because I have like 3 different forms of income and it's like all self-employed. So then of course I have the self-employment tax, which really sucks.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah.
I have to pay I had to pay money on YouTube. I don't know how much I paid. Probably paid like $200, I feel
The
like.
fact that I like actually owed taxes this year, I was like, really, girl?
I owed so much. I owed like probably like $700 in taxes, and it's not from YouTube. It's from like my other sources of income and slash
Yeah.
my job. And I was like, why are you still taking money away from me? And then like I sent in my tax return, and then like the Canadian Revenue Agency emailed me back and went like, hey, by the way, you owe us 39 cents now. And I'm like, oh, I still didn't pay you enough. Like my tax return told me that I have to owe this amount. They assessed it and said, by the way, you paid us
39 more
and
cents.
you owe me 39 cents. And because I clicked on the email a week later, because I was like distraught, I was just like, I don't want to talk to you right now, CRA. Like, just give me a week to process. They're like, the deadline to pay before interest charges start is like on May 2nd. And like to pay a bill, it takes 2 business days to process. So even if I pay 39 cents, I might get charged interest on it. So I
Oh
had
my
to pay
God.
more. I had to pay like $1 more just in case like I go like under and then they charge me interest. And I was just like, this is like, come on, guys. Like,
Crazy,
yeah.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
There are moments where I kind of just want to restart my whole YouTube channel and just clean it. But then I'm like, no, you can't do that. So I think it's the break for me that I'll do.
Well, and I don't know, do you film vlogs like very often at all, or like just in general, have you?
No, like okay, so I did a lot of like YouTube surveys back in the day, like last year. I did like a lot of YouTube surveys where I was like, what's the future content that you want to see from me? Like reading vlogs, like recommendation videos, historical romance, contemporary romance, like indie romance, like all these things. And a lot of people really liked obviously my historical romance recommendation videos. They like historical romance more. But they also wanted to see reading vlogs. And there's like a comment section that I had in the Google Forums where they were talking, where I asked, like, what are your comments toward these? Like, add a comment. And a lot of people said that, like, they don't like to watch sit down videos as much as the videos where the booktubers are actually going around and doing things like going book shopping or going like doing like random things around the house or like doing something while they're talking about books. And I was like, okay, like that makes sense because that's me too. Sometimes I don't like watching a sit down video. Sometimes I like seeing more B-roll, some more, change of scenery to keep it more dynamic and interesting. So, but it's a lot of work, to do things while like filming the things. And I don't really do that much on the weekends. Like,
Gotcha.
like a reading vlog is going to be like super boring because I'm just laying in my bed in different directions on my bed as I'm reading a book. So,
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like my life is usually pretty boring. But I've gotten in the habit of like doing vlogs for Vlogmas where like I film weekly reading vlogs. I'm not posting every day because
yeah,
that'll kill your channel. If you post every day,
yeah,
people do not watch that. Like
yeah,
like because the people who do like true Vlogmas where they're posting every day, that kills your views. But I actually like going back and watching my reading vlogs every now and then because like it's become like the modern version of home videos
hmm,
for me because I do document when I do something, which isn't
hmm,
very often, but like usually in December I'm doing more because it's my birthday month and it's Christmas.
yeah,
And then like I have like a random, what was it, like Tis the Season-a-thon a few years ago where I happened to be going to Disney World and
yeah,
Universal. And so I did do daily vlogs for that. And again, those are like home videos because I'm looking at like all the different places I went to and like and things like that. So in that way, vlogs can be fun, but I agree they are a lot of work. It's a lot of editing, and I tend to put the editing off until I filmed all of the clips, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna take hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Especially. Yes, I agree.
mhm.
I don't know. I like reading vlogs too, but it's also at the same time, you have to make sure that you're reading a book that people wanna see. Like, if you're reading a random ass book, then
Mhm.
nobody's gonna watch that reading vlog.
You're so right. You're
You have to
so
read,
right.
like, the popular books that people actually wanna see your reaction to and things like that. I don't know. And then it's also, like, I feel like with reading vlogs, you people watch reading vlogs because they know who you are already. Like, they know your personality, they know what you're
Yeah.
doing, they know your life. But, like, if you just randomly start a reading vlog, it's gonna I feel like the first reading vlogs are gonna be really hard to gain attention and views because they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, why am I watching about your life?" Like, they're
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
like, there would be more, like, so that's why, like, some of my reading vlogs don't do well because A, I'm reading random books, and B, because they're like, "What is your life? I've only known you through a sit-down video. What is this?" And then it's, like, the nature of my job too. I don't like talking about my career, but, like, my life is, like, from Monday to Friday is, like, my job. Like, what
Right,
so, like,
right.
there's really nothing much to talk about
Mhm.
unless I do fun things, and yeah.
Right. Exactly. And what you said about the vlogs, my first few vlogs, I remember they would get like 20 views at most. And then my regular content was maybe getting 100 views, towards the start of my channel or whatever. It's just, yeah, I was like clearly not doing it for for the views or for anything. Yeah. It's just it's interesting that like we're both feeling kind of slumpy in terms of content creation because
Yeah.
I've seen a few of our friends posting the same thing. Like I know Caitlin from the Love Librarian, she recently took a break, like for a few weeks, and she was talking like she has an Instagram post that I skimmed where she was talking about like why she needed to take that break and now she feels so much more refreshed
Mhm.
and ready to make content again, and I think that's worth it. Take the time that you need, so that you're not burnt out.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
And that girl, that is a struggle. The way that like when I film my wrap ups and I'm like, wait, how do I explain this plot? Like, why do I have to explain the plot? Can I just
Yeah,
tell you that I liked it or that I
yeah,
didn't like it?
yeah. So, I don't know if you also do this too, but, like, I watch so it's, like, for research purposes. So, I watch, like, a lot of booktube videos from booktubers who are super popular for research purposes. I wanna see why the audience likes the videos as much, why they stick to it, why do they gravitate towards it. It's very, like, fast editing, very, like, upbeat music, and the personality is there too, obviously, as well. But, like, they spend less time talking about the plot of the book and more time about how they feel about it, is what I
Yeah.
gather.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're reading, like keep in mind, they read the really popular novels that everybody kinda already knows the plot to, so they're, like, adjusting to the fact that, like, they don't have to explain too much about it, and, like, I
Mhm.
think a lot of viewers too appreciate it because they don't wanna get spoiled in any way possible. Like, they just want, like, what they felt and if it's a good read. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Well, and that's a struggle for me too, is like, how do I succinctly tell you the plot of this book? That has always been a struggle for me. Like, I
I think
noticed.
you do a really good job. Okay, not to like, just
Oh,
like
really?
lay in like compliments here and there where we're both feeling shit about it, our own content, but like I think you are like I know people, like I talk to a lot of people. No, I mean I only talk to one person. I talk to Lacey. But like I talk to Lacey and I like Rachel's videos because like she knows how to talk about the books where it's actually interesting and like I can understand the plot line very quickly and she agreed with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Because I always am like self-conscious of that, of like when I'm editing my videos, I'm like, I feel like it's taking me a long time to get the idea across.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously we're more critical of ourselves than we
Of
are
course.
of other
Yeah.
people. But that's like the struggle of being a booktuber. That's like half the battle is like succinctly explaining what's going on in this book not giving too much away, and then going into how you felt about it and why.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of being overcritical, like when I'm editing myself, I'm like, why do I sound bored? Like, like I sound so bored. Like my voice is like monotone, and then like I can tell my voice is going bored because like my voice has no levels. It's just straight like, like I don't go, oh, and then da, 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 da. I go, and then they went this and this and this. It's okay. It was a 3 out of 5 stars. All right, so the next book, and then I'm just like, bro, I'm boring myself right now. I'm putting myself to sleep. But yeah.
Well, I can tell you the content that I love from you is when you're able to show your personality through like, okay, I freaking love that video you did where you painted the edges of that
Oh
book.
my fucking God.
And you think that video is terrible, but that video showed your personality, like one of the best videos of your personality, in my opinion.
That was because those, like, I think like if you go back 6 months ago, which is when I posted that book video, it was because I specifically did those like Google forums where I was trying to understand my audience better, and they were like saying like you should do things while you're talking about books, and I'm like, do things. All right, let's do something. And then I saw on Etsy all these like sprayed edges of these like books, and it was like $60 a pop, and I'm like, fuck that, I can do that.
Yeah, see, that's a good idea because if you're not someone like I used to do get ready with me videos. I don't do them as much anymore because they are a hassle to film. They are really it's really hard for me to concentrate on blending my makeup and talking about a book at the same time. But people really loved that because like there's something about like you doing something at the same time.
What can I do? What do you want me to do, guys?
Okay, like the arts and crafts, maybe that's gonna be your thing.
Fucking just coloring a book as I'm talking about my like wrap up. Like I think I could just order a coloring book and just be like fucking coloring as
I mean, honestly, truly, I really think you should do a part 2 to the painting book edges.
We're in another book. Bro,
because I want to see if you'd be better.
I like finished painting the book and I was telling Lacey like this is shit, you guys. Like I didn't even edit the video yet, but I was like, this looks like shit. And like she's like, did you even use the right paint? And I'm like, what do you mean I didn't use the right paint? There's one paint that we're supposed to use. She Googles it and then it's like this like specific paint and I used acrylic paint. And I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking kill myself because now we were talking about like how the pages might not split properly.
Oh, okay. I mean, honestly, I feel like any paint that does well on paper should be fine. Like, I don't know about how acrylic is on paper, but like, yeah, I don't know.
I gotta go think about things to do.
Oh my God, definitely do a part 2 to the painting your book edges though.
Or like a stupid thing to do as I'm doing something, like build a table with me as I talk.
Or even something else book related. I don't know. Like what's an activity book related that you could do while talking about books? I don't know. I'm not like the most creative person in this way. So I'm like, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. It's so hard. Like, and I wanted like the most bizarre. I want the most bizarre topics too as well.
Enthusiasm, yeah. And that's why I actually have gotten to the point where I prefer watching people gush about books than hating on a book.
Yeah. And unfortunately for me, I hate books sometimes. And I'm like, I don't want to be negative on my channel.
Although you're funny though. You're funny and like that's what I want. If you hate a book, make it funny.
Yeah.
Like bring up something outrageous that happened in the book that like you absolutely despised, like, yeah, then that's going to entertain me, but a lot of the time when I talk about a book that I've DNF'd or didn't enjoy, it's like, just because I was bored, like, that's not entertaining. That's not like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's important too. Absolutely.
I can make chocolate.
Oh, you can bake something. Yeah.
Oh my God, my cookies.
I would watch the hell out of that. Oh my God, that's so funny.
The thing is that I live with a family that is always constantly in the kitchen. So, like, I have to pick a time where, like, they're not in the house for me to do something like this. But yeah, it's definitely on my
Dang.
mind. I feel like a lot of, like, booktubers, like, do reading vlogs with Bob baking.
Oh my god. Okay,
Oh,
Melissa,
yeah.
what that's reminding me of is I don't think I watch these booktubers anymore, but there were a few very popular, just general booktubers, not romance booktubers.
Hmm.
I remember publishers used to like, and they probably still do, they send copies of books. Like Disney Book Group does this a lot, where
Mhm,
they'll
mhm,
send a book to like a really big booktuber, and the booktuber is promoting it before they've read it.
mhm.
And they're
And
just like
it's paid too. It's not even just like you get a free
paid.
book, paid.
It's paid, and they're just like holding up the book, and they're like, here's this new, like, I remember Disney Book Group was, sending out the Twisted Tales series.
Yes,
It's
yes,
like a
yes.
huge, that's a YA
Or
series.
the Rick, what the hell is his name? The guy who wrote
Riordan, Rick
yeah,
Riordan.
yeah,
Mhm.
his book publishing series, like,
But like, I'm telling you, nothing annoys me more when someone is obviously sponsored by a publisher, they're promoting a book, and they clearly have not read it, and then like you watch their wrap ups month after month after month, and they still haven't read it.
yeah,
They still haven't read the book.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's, like, another speaking of things that kinda, like, annoy me, is, like, when you know the rent is due, is when these people who haven't posted videos in a long time randomly post a video and you're like, okay, cool. You're like, you're excited, you like them, you're subscribed to them. That's why, like, you want to watch them. But then you click on it and then like the banner goes paid partnership. And you're like, rent is due. That's why
What?
you're here with this
Oh my
video.
god,
Rent
stop.
is due, guys. Rent is due. Like
Oh,
we
that's
gotta go.
so real.
I know. And
That's
then
so real.
or I don't know. I used to watch a lot of people like not booktubers like it's not to any booktuber right now who's using YouTube as their own income. This is no shade, no whatever. This is like
Yeah, yeah.
this is to the popular people who are just like making a lot of money from YouTube that has bookish content but more lifestyle content. So it's not to any of the people I know, any friends, any in our circle. But like I don't know, I just get bored when they're just like using YouTube as their own income because they're just doing chores or like they're doing grocery shopping and then that's their life and they're doing like YouTube like that and then they post random videos when rent is due. And I'm just like I don't care about your grocery shopping as much um because now I feel like you're running out of ideas and you're just doing this for your like rent. I don't know. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It just gets boring because it's like the same things
Yeah,
over and over again, and there's
yeah.
no creativeness to it. When I started watching them, it was because like it was really creative with the way that they're like showing casing their life, but then like it's just the same grocery shopping trips every single week, and then a paid partnership. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm bored. Like, I don't want to watch your grocery shopping trips that much.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's just not genuine.
Yeah.
And like, who wants to watch just an influencer? Like,
Yeah.
influencers don't interest me. I need you to be a genuine, real person. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the end of it.
Okay, so Melissa says also a money grab, posting a video of books you didn't read from your TBR video. Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, because I understand if that's like a portion of a video.
Yeah, like one book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like but if that's a whole video and you still didn't read the book, you still aren't planning on reading the book, then like where's the content? I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't yeah, but
And it's
I
also
don't
like if they post the same books in the recommendation videos over and over again, like the same Colleen Hoover, the same like Anna Hong like book, I'm just like, bro, like like this
well,
is
and
too
that's something I'm always mindful of like um yeah, not recommending the same books. Although I do, I do sometimes end up recommending the same kind of books over and over and over again. But that's just because they're amazing books.
yeah.
But
No, but, like, if it's, like, consistently every single video going forward, I still see the same book, I'm like, "Okay, so it's just
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
really reading, and you're using these books as money grabs because they're usually the most popular books."
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, I'm very mindful of like how often I'm reading like very, 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 very popular basic books. Um, yeah, yeah. There's a balance for sure.
Linda is
Oh my
Linda is
god,
throwing
you're a
shade.
heckler. You're a
But
heckler in the comments.
sometimes I look at these influencers, like big influencers, not in our community again, but like I'm like, bro, maybe you guys should like, diversify your income because like if you don't get views, like that's another thing that like scares me as like a really big influencer. If I had like 500,000 subscribers and that was my main YouTube income, I would be nervous because if it's cyclical, right? So like if somebody drops off and doesn't want to watch anymore, I don't have money to pay rent.
I feel a being a YouTuber is one of the most unstable jobs, I
Yeah.
think, that you could ever have.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I will ever get to a point where I could just depend on YouTube ad revenue
Yeah.
ever. Like that's never going to happen for me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's never gonna happen for me either. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's just too unstable for me.
this is true.
Why do I need them to influence me?
I get like super influenced very easily. I
I
watch
get
I
you.
watch something on TikTok and it's like, check out this new Merit lip gloss that is like $30 a pop that you should get. It's like equivalent to my $12 lip gloss I got on Amazon, but I still buy it
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, books are a completely different story. Like I love that's why I subscribe to so many different booktubers because even though a lot of times we all end up reading the same book, like
Mhm.
Melissa's comment about Heartless, we're all gonna have different, you know,
Was
feelings about it.
Heartless the third book in the LC Silver series? Am I
Okay.
finally reading it? The second one? Oh, I read Heartless. Yeah, I liked Heartless. I own a copy of Heartless. I don't own a copy of the first book, but I like Heartless.
Mm.
And I just saw somebody. Is the third book Powerless?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw somebody on my Instagram page read Powerless. Most disappointing read that she read this month. I'm like, ooh, girl, spice. Like that is a hot take.
So
I'm
I
excited.
I ended up giving that one 5 stars. Very recently read Powerless. I buddy read it with Ava and Victoria.
Yeah.
What I will say is that something that I thought of while reading Powerless is that I do feel that every romance author has like specific tropes that they write
Mhm.
really, really well and tropes that they don't write as well. And I'm just being real. I don't think Friends to Lovers is Elsie Silver's best
Mhm.
trope.
Okay, I can't even say that much because I literally read only 2 books of hers, but it wasn't the first book, Friends to Lovers?
It was
Kind of?
like, okay, the only thing that annoys me about Flawless is that
Yeah,
it's marketed as enemies to lovers when
yeah.
at most it's like dislike
Yeah,
to yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That one definitely gives a friends to lovers vibe.
yeah, because they were, like, chill with each other very
Yeah,
quickly.
very quickly they were yeah, yeah. Heartless, definitely I wouldn't call it friends to lovers. That more also wouldn't call it hate to love. It's just like opposites
Again,
attract or you know.
yeah, like, for a period of time in March and April, I read a lot of popular authors because I just wanted to read what the cool kids were reading. I was very
Yeah.
hyper focused on, like, reading what the cool kids were reading and creating content surrounding what the cool kids were reading. But since I took, like, I'm taking it really right now, my 2-week break so far from, like, BookTube, where I'm not really, like, engaged as much and I'm not filming anything in the background, and I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit about these popular books anymore. Like, no shits are given. I just don't care. But that's also because I'm not reading. So I'm only doing like my
Yeah.
own thing.
Oh,
Oh,
another video of yours that I really liked, Lisa, was the one where you were talking about really chunky books.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, are they worth the page count? Like, I really appreciated that video.
Yeah, some of them are like really long, but I surprisingly really liked a lot of the books I talked about in that video. Like, and it did feel long, some bits, but like some bits were good. Oh, wait, but like I was like talking about like how I was in a reading slump or like I'm not reading as much anymore, but I did read a book, an arc of a book that I really, really enjoyed. It's called Coming Clean by Jen Trin, and I just talk a lot about it on my Instagram page because I'm not filming any videos much on YouTube. and I'm trying to just use Instagram as my way of like promoting books because it's easier, it's fast.
Yeah.
And Coming Clean was really good. I really enjoyed that one. That one was a fake dating. It's not fake dating. It's a celebrity romance, but a realistic celebrity romance with a lot of juicy drama, and I really appreciated it.
Cool. We have a couple of unpopular opinions here.
Follow
Linda, you DNF'd Heartless.
Not going to try Powerless yet. Yeah,
You
I'm like
DNF'd Heartless, girl. Oh my god.
okay,
That's
but to be
really-
honest, Heartless was also like it was every other book that I've read too. There was nothing really like nothing that special about it. There were some lines in that book that were pretty good though. I think it was because she was doubting herself a lot.
I mean, let's be real. Yeah, are Elsie Silver's small town cowboy romances the most unique? No.
No.
But I think that they have a very universal appeal to them. Oh, you didn't like Flawless, thought it was cringy. Interesting. What did you think of Heartless?
Try one more, Elsie.
Melissa?
Wait,
I was just asking, what did she think of Heartless then?
I think she gave it 3 stars.
Oh, I thought that was her rating.
Or the first book.
Powerless,
Okay.
but
Melissa, tell us.
You gotta let me know, girl. But Cool Kids never impressed me much. Some of the popular books turn out to be women's fiction. Girl, I will never understand the Colleen Hoover hype. I will never which is really funny because if you go on my Goodreads, the Colleen Hoover books that I've read, I've given 5 stars. Yeah. Because I read them a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I have since realized they are women's fiction and nothing is wrong with that. Although, I mean, obviously we all hate the term women's fiction. Like, it's fiction. Who cares? Yeah. But I have since realized that those books, a lot of them are trauma porn.
Yes, that's a good way. That's a good take. I did not realize that.
That's it. That is it. Like, especially It Ends With Us. That is trauma porn. Like,
I never read It Ends With Us, but I understand from all the Colleen Hoover books I read, that's always the same formula. Yep. It's just trying to invoke that painful emotion with that drama in you.
It's emotionally manipulative. That's what it is.
But thinking about when I read Colleen Hoover, I understand why the younger generation of readers, the next group of readers, are reading Colleen Hoover, because I was reading Colleen Hoover at that time in my life. So I understand why it's getting hyped up again by these younger readers.
They definitely have that kind of universal appeal. Yeah. I can't say I'm shocked that she exploded on TikTok. Yeah, I mean, this conversation is just going off the rails. Okay, yeah, you gave Heartless 3 stars. Thought it was just okay. Yeah. Melissa, I'm so excited. I'm going to be reading Mile High soon because the audio recently came out and it's on Hoopla. So I'm going to read it soon.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are still some popular novels I want to read, but again, I'm taking a break from reading in general too as well, and a break from my booktube channel, so we'll see whenever I'll start reading again. I usually read more after I do these live shows because it it just reminds me of how much I love reading, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta read more. Oh no.
Oh no! Like, you just didn't like the narrators? Dang. Okay. Well, I'll give the audio a try, and if I'm not liking it, I'll just switch. Yeah. Oh, now that we're a little over an hour in, we might as well talk about next month.
What are we reading?
Yeah, we did. We did.
What do we think?
We picked, but it was really just me being like, we have to read this book, and you were like, okay.
What's the book? Evelay. Okay, yeah. Wait, did that come out?
Yeah, it came out this week.
Where the fuck is it? The strip is
came out this week.
It's because fucking Indigo, and it's getting hacked. Yes, I agree. A narrator can break a book for an audiobook.
But yeah, this came out on the 25th.
All right, I'm
And for those
excited.
of you that don't know, this is the third and final book in Eva Lee's, or Eva, I don't know, Eva Lee, Eva Lay. I can't even remember how she pronounces it, but
Yes.
her Last Chance Scoundrel series. And so we're finally getting Dom and Willa's story. This is going to be a very, very angsty second chance romance between the two of them. At the very beginning of book one, which is A Good Girl's Guide to Rakes, we see that they were going to get married, and he pretty much left her at the altar.
Oh,
And
it's gonna be tough
yeah,
for
it's gonna
me.
be angsty. It's gonna be sexy as hell though. Like Eva Lee, she serves the spice, the
Mm-hmm.
steam for sure. Um, though I've given all her books threes. That's fair. I will say with this author, it's only her most recent stuff that I've given 5 stars because I tried reading her older, still published with Avon stuff, but like older stuff, and I gave it like 3 stars. Like it was not serving for me. So something about like this series and like how it's written is just really working for me.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
so
liked
really,
her recent novels too a lot. I
oh,
haven't
you
read
have?
them. Yeah. I
Good.
agreed with you on a lot of the ratings for a lot of her books.
Yeah, there's just something about it's a slightly different vibe I feel from like other books that I've read from her, and it just really works. I The only reason why I would recommend reading the first 2 books is that this romance is featured a lot in both of those books. Like you're getting the buildup of the angst and of, you know, yeah, because like I said, this is established at the very beginning of book one. And really, their relationship is what is like the catalyst for the main premise of this whole series. And the premise is that, like, um, these 3 friends, they all have to get married within like a year or they all lose their inheritance. They all, lose everything. And so yeah, like this is what started it all. So very, very excited. I've been seeing like little like snippets that she's posted on her Instagram, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait to read it.
I don't have the book yet, so I forgot that it got released. So it's fine. We're gonna get the audiobook for it.
Setting is what, oh, they're in a house party on an island. Yeah, I've heard the spice is amazing. That's cool. House party on an island. Okay.
I have so
Um,
many new historical romance releases that I have not yet read, but I feel like I
yeah.
just need 1 week and I can clear out my TBR very
You
quickly.
could. You
Yeah,
read so fast.
I'll
Oh
just
my god.
binge it very quickly.
Yeah, you could totally just binge all of the recent releases.
Yeah,
Um,
easy,
I'm trying
easy.
to think of historicals that came out this year that I still haven't read yet that I want to. I am eventually going to read the new Lorraine Heath one.
There's a
I
new
don't.
Sophie Jordan. I know
Oh,
some
there
people
is.
are meh. Yeah, her book is huge. Like her book is not a trade paperback. It's like one of those mass paperback books. This isn't obviously, but it's like this size. It's like this big.
Is
It's
it
like
like
the
with an illustrated cover?
no, it's a Berkeley. It's not a Berkeley romance. It's an Avon romance, and it has a person on it, and
Okay.
it's called like the Scandalous. I don't know, like Lady Society.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Because
have to read that.
I don't know, I like her books, but only like she's hit or miss. Because it's
Yeah.
like only certain ones I've really, really enjoyed, and some have been misses for me. So yeah, I think I am still gonna pick up Portrait of a Duchess by Scarlett
Oh
Howard
yes, I have that book.
because the cover is just stunning, and I personally adored book one. I loved the Ray Cass.
Yeah.
Um, but I've just heard very mixed things about this book. I'll still read it though because the audio is pretty readily available for me. Um, but yeah, very curious about that one for sure. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else because I already read The Duke Gets Even. We read that like as soon as it came out. What else?
The second book in the series of the Everlay book.
So the first and second books of that series are, on Hoopla. The first one is Good Girl's Guide to Rakes that has an orange cover. The second one is How the Wallflower Was Won, and it has a blue cover.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I really liked How the Wallflower Was Won.
That
Also,
one was really good, yeah.
Rachel, how long have we been doing this book club for? I get confused. I mean, like, I
November.
understand November.
November, mhm.
So it's been what?
I
4
mean, we kinda started in October just because, like, we
Yeah.
read Lenore Bell and Eva Lee's, like, recent releases so we could do that live show with them.
Yeah.
But, like, our first official was, Caribbean Heiress in Paris in November.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it because I was like, usually these things fall apart for me and I give up very
Oh,
easily.
really?
But I'm so glad we're still doing it and we're still strong.
Lisa,
Even
I would
though
not let you give up on this.
Are you gonna hold me hostage if I like
Yeah,
if I
I'm
like
gonna literally just force Lisa to come on these live shows.
you're imagine like I just go, hey Rachel, so sorry. My life is just hectic and crazy right now. Can we just like take a break? You're gonna force me with like to come back on here.
I'll just be here by myself being like, "Where's Lisa? Where is she?"
No, I'm enjoying it so far. I like this book club. We're very
Yeah, and
relaxed. We're
I
chill.
like book clubs like this that are, like, low key, you
We're not
know.
even wearing makeup. Look how far we've just given up. Like I
Well,
just
I never wear makeup on live shows.
oh
Never,
really?
ever, ever. No, I don't. I'm very casual with live shows.
Sometimes I
Oh,
finish taking a shower and I jump on a live show because I'm just like I want to be clean once I log off and I can just dive into my bed.
true,
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
I like
But no, this has been so fun, and it's once again we were saying earlier in the live show that like it's crazy. We have agreed on every book that we have read so far
yeah.
for this book club, which is
We're
unheard
in
of.
the right direction. Not
Yeah,
the rating. The rating isn't always the same, but we're in the leaning towards the right direction on the scale.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, the first and second books. Loved the first. Oh yeah, the first one was fun. The first one gives like lessons in seduction vibes, for sure. Also, like the heroes in this series, they're all like literally perfect. They are perfect
Mhm,
heroes. Like they're not like crazy like alpha here. Although I enjoy an alpha every now and then, but like they're very just lovable heroes in this
mhm,
series for sure.
mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna pick a time and date for the live show. We'll post it on our social media, likely on Instagram, and I think Rachel talks about it in her videos too as well for like the
Mhm.
live shows. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out for it, but it'll be sometime in May. And it was
Yeah.
great talking to you guys today and chatting.
Yeah. This was fun. I love just chatting about all kind of random things.
Yeah, we went on a rant about everything. I like this one. This one was a great live show.
Yeah, this was fun.
All right. All right. Thanks for joining us. Bye,
All
guys.
right. Bye. Have a great
Bye.
night, everyone.